let me introduce you to Nikkei Cuisine. Come on, let's get started.
Todo queda sabroso.
Nikkei is most relatable to a type of cuisine in Peru, but it actually refers to the Japanese diaspora. In the late 1800s, Japanese migrants arrived in Peru looking to work on sugar plantations. Despite their hardships, the Japanese immigrants have become a significant part of the Peruvian community. They began to own small businesses like shops and restaurants, and Nikkei Cuisine was born. The Nikkei influence can be seen in dishes like Tiradito. This is the Aji Amarillo. This comes frozen, but if you can't find a Latin Hispanic market near you that carries Peruvian products, you can find an Aji Amarillo paste in my Amazon store. The link is in the description. So we're gonna take the Aji Amarillo and we're going to put it in a pot of water. I'm using about 6. I like to add just a little bit of salt. Now I'm gonna boil these for about 10 minutes until the skin peels right off. Okay, so here I have the Aji Amarillo boiled, remove the skin and the seeds. And now we're just going to place this in a blender cup. And some people would put water, but because we're mixing this with a marinade, I don't want it to be too watered down. So instead we're adding oil, which a lot of people do as well. About a tablespoon of oil should be enough, just to get those peppers going. There you have the pureed Aji Amarillo. Okay, so now we're going to start our marinade for the Aji Amarillo sauce. I'm going to take 1 stalk of celery or half a stalk of celery. So I want to bruise the celery. And that simply means like crushing it with a blunt object. It releases all the essence of that celery. I also have some scallions. You can do red onion, and you're gonna do the same thing. Just going to bruise that and then cut it into smaller pieces. You don't have to cut it fine because it's just a marinade. Everything's going to be strained anyway. Then we have some cilantro stems. The essence of the cilantro is all in that stem. So we want to bruise that as well, and then add that to the bowl. I also have some ginger. Just going to take a little knob of ginger, and again, crush that so that we release the essence of that ginger. I also have some red jalapeno. In Peru, ají limo is used to add heat to a dish, especially ceviche or tiradito, but I can't find that here in the States, so I'm going with a red jalapeno. And all I want is the part with the seeds in it, and I'm going to kind of bruise that as well so that you release not only the flavor, but the essential oil that really carries the spice with it. I also add 2 cloves of garlic. Make sure you crush that, release that flavor. Then we have the juice of 4 limes right into that container. Okay, then we're going to just toss that around, kind of crushing those vegetables a little bit more into the lime juice. Okay, let this stand about 10 minutes, then we'll be ready to go. Okay, now we're going to do what is called a salsa criolla, or just like a little spicy salsa as a garnish for the tiradito. I have 1/4 of an onion here, and I'm going to cut it small dice. Now I'm just going to cut it down to a mince. I'm going to add this onion to some ice water. What this is going to do is going to take that raw edge off that onion. Okay, although not traditional, I'm going to be adding a little fruit just as a complement the fish that we're using. And I'm going to cut that to a small dice as well. Add that to a bowl. We also have another jalapeno, red jalapeno. And all I want is the flesh. I don't want the seeds. then small dice like everything else. Add that to the bowl. Last but not least, we have some cilantro that we're going to cut fine. And add that to the bowl. I'm going to add just a little bit of lime juice to that and give that a quick toss. Is that beautiful or what? Okay, so now that our marinade has sat for about 10 to 15 minutes, those flavors have just seeped into that lime juice. Now we're just going to strain it. Again, we're going to try to extract as much of that flavor from those vegetables. So we're just going to squeeze whatever juices are remaining. Then we have our Aji Amarillo paste that we did earlier. We're just going to add 2 tablespoons for now, just to see our consistency, where we're at. Do you see that beautiful color that Aji Amarillo gives? Okay, that's about the consistency that I wanted. But here's the most important part. Salt. So we're gonna add a couple pinches right now of salt. Mix that around, give it a taste. Just a little bit too much acid and not enough salt, so I'm gonna add another pinch. Now it's perfect. Let's prepare our fish.
Whenever you buy fresh fish, make sure they're reputable and has a knowledgeable staff. If you're in the North Carolina, South Carolina area, that will be saltwater markets. They have a beautiful array of shellfish, whole fish, and stunning fillets, which I zeroed in on a particular kingfish to make this dish.
Okay, so here we have a beautiful piece of king salmon. Salmon is one of those fish that is a really great choice for sashimi, for its raw component. And as you can see, this is a beautiful piece of fish. So I'm just going to kind of remove this portion so that we get even pieces. And I'm just going to slice thin slices of the salmon. Now it's very important that you have a very sharp knife so that you don't tear the meat, so that it just slices right through. I'm using what is called a slicer knife. It's great for these applications. Okay, another important piece is that whatever dish you're going to use to present, make sure you place it in the freezer just so that it's ice cold. Then I'm just going to take those salmon pieces and I'm just going to layer it. Okay, now I'm going to place this in the freezer for about 5 minutes and then we'll plate up. Okay, everything's nice and cold. Shout out again to saltwater markets. Can y'all see the loveliness that is that salmon, the beautiful color? Okay, now we have our Aji Amarillo sauce. And basically we're just going to kind of fill in all the empty spaces. Okay, then we have the salsa criolla that has the diced mango in it as well. I'm just going to put dollops. Just like that. Okay, then I like to just add garnish some of that red jalapeno. And then last but not least, a little cilantro oil all over the fish. Is that beautiful or what? Peruvian Tiradito.